And welcome back, everyone, to more Cool Cat Gaming Super Mario Odyssey any percent action. Today, this time around, we got a Division B matchup with Quentiko versus Infinite. I'm joined by Lucine. Hello, how are you doing today?
Hello, good. How are you?
I'm doing swell. Saw some Mario 64 action, ready for some Mario Odyssey action. Just Mario all the time, everywhere, all day.
Yes,
Um,
Mario's the best person ever.
so just before we get started, we did hear from Quentico not going to be doing an interview, but I do want to hear from Infinite real quick. How you feeling about this race? You know, this is probably your first race in a long time. What's on your mind?
I'm feeling good. I haven't done a race in around 2 years. I'm still coming off a D-rest after not playing for a year and a half. So, I've been trying to work on my consistency. Hopefully, it doesn't betray me in this race, but I'm feeling good.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, 2 years is a long time to have not done a race. So, as we like to say a lot, many, many times, anything can happen in a race. But looking forward to seeing put on a good show for us. I'll put it that way.
I'll try my hardest.
Excellent, excellent. All right, we do have both of our runners set up on the Switch menu page to set their clocks for DSTA. Whenever you guys are ready, you can go ahead and ready up in the race room, and then we'll get underway. Okay, that's fine then. I can do that. Just let me know in the chat when both of you are ready, and I will give you a countdown for your DSTA offset. Let's do it that way. Yeah, just set your live split so that give a minute, and I'll count you down to start that minute countdown, and you can do your DSTA whenever you're good to go for that. Sorry, I regret to inform the Twitch chat that despite what the layout says, I am not Sandwich. I am Okra. Apologies. All right, looks like both of our runners have their live splits set up for the 1 minute countdown, and I will count you down to start that 1 minute. Whenever in that countdown you normally start your DSA, just go ahead and do that, and we'll get underway. All right, Infinite is ready. Quentico is ready. I will give you a countdown. On 3, 2, 1, begin. And both of the runners can go ahead and deafen if they don't want to hear any of the commentary relevant here. But while that's getting underway, they have a full minute to get counting down for their DSTA, set the clock, get going on this. If you don't know what DSTA is, we do have a handy exclamation point DSTA command, just to give you a little background on that. But essentially just makes one moon faster in the Sand Kingdom. Changes the route a little bit because you do a different moon order in that regard. But yeah, so this is a Division B match. Both of their PBs are really close together. About a half a minute separating their PBs. What can we expect to see here, Lucine?
Uh, Anything pretty much, just because there will be a lot of nerve checks going on throughout the race.
Mm-hmm.
Eh, Yeah, but the handy DSTA command is there so that we don't have to talk for 5 minutes just about DSTA.
Yeah.
And the races
Instead,
are off.
yes, yes. Now we don't have a ton of time to just kind of talk about whatever we want because it's not like Mario 64. You've got the intro going on. There's a quick cutscene skip here, and then 30 seconds in, they're off. They're going. There's a little very very short cutscene here in the Cap Kingdom. Not a lot of time at all. Now, what I'm expecting personally, both of these runners are. I'm going to go ahead and say that even though Quentico does not have a 101 PB, being that close to 101 does mean that they are 101 capable. I'm going to call both of these 101 capable runners. We're probably going to see them pull out all the stops in Cap Kingdom. We're expecting to see left side a fast top fight. They've done these first 2 or 3 kingdoms however many times by now. Like, this should all be rote memory.
Listen, what I'm looking at here is that Quentiko has a 10037 sub, while Infinite has a 5927. So Quentiko is definitely 101 capable.
Certainly. Very nice. Both of our runners getting water roll. Oh my gosh. I didn't even, like, okay. This is, I said they'd be pulling out all the stops. I didn't mean actually literally all the stops. That's insane. Both of them going for the water roll. Very, very technical bit of movement there that saves like half a second. Very hardly any time at all, but they both went for it and got it. Infinite setting up for a vault left side here. Quentiko going for the triple jump instead. And looks like, ooh, Quentiko not quite getting...
Take a small fall.
The angle was just a little bit off, just a bit too far to the right with the angle from Mario there. Unfortunately taking a tumble. But a very fast copper fight from Infinite. And Trap and Topper on the wall here going to be similarly fast. Oh, the spin. Oh my gosh, just... You love to see it. You love to see the tech.
Yes.
You love to see them bringing it out.
I always love to see fast topper because it looks so good when it's done correctly. Unfortunately, I can't do it myself. I always have to go for the slower stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very tricky to kind of get a feel for that sort of thing. But a 220 cap from Infinite in a race, that is fantastic. Versus a 229 we're going to be looking at. 229, 230? Yeah, so about less than 10 seconds separating our runners outside of the Cat Kingdom. Basically, it just comes down to that that missed left side for Quentiko.
And it is going to go off in a weird direction.
Going off a little wild there. But both of them will be collecting our first Power Moon, which is the name of this moon.
Dico doing a very RNG minute bunk there.
Yes, certainly. Just manipulating the RNG for later in the run, for sure. All right. Now the big question mark for me, I don't think we're gonna see DSS, but it is always kind of an option that the runners have. Yeah, both of them just going across the bridge. Nothing fancy here. Alright, let's see how they do the dino skip here. Gotta get that dino's left foot to break these rocks. Trampoline underneath. Looks good. For Infinite. And looks good for Quentiko. Collecting some coins. We will need these later for purchasing a moon at the Wooded Kingdom. Ooh, unfortunately, Quentiko did not knock the hat off of the Chain Chomp with that hat throw, taking some damage, having to drag it around. Now, these two rings of coins did not spawn in the same location. They're not on top of each other. Fortunately, okay, 43 coins, they do have enough. Should be good to go for the Wooded Kingdom still, but definitely not what you're hoping to see there taking damage.
Yes, depending on how their routes go, they might have to do the wrangle fight for coins, but I would assume not.
Yeah. Typically, there are plenty of coins to be collected before the Wooded Kingdom. In between the bunny and the Wooded Shop, there are 2 coins there. So the worst case scenario is you enter Wooded with 98 coins. So given that, how many coins does Infinite have? 43. So it just needs 5 more coins between now and the start of Wooded. That is easily handleable. And I think Quentiko has also 43. Let's see. Yeah, dead even on coins. Avoiding damage from the Chain Chomp for Infinite. Let's see how Quentiko does. Going around to the right side. Nice. All right. Pretty clean Cascade Kingdom. Again, just that one mistaken cap separating the runners so far.
And the slight mistake on the Madame Berto fight from Quentiko.
That's true.
But still very clean Cascade nonetheless.
Yeah. The only thing that Quentiko's at risk of right now with a 5x Cascade exit, 553, needs to be very careful. I'm not sure what exactly offset they are using, but they might not make it in time for their daylight saving time clock planting the seed. It should still be fine. Again, depending on what their offset is, I'm not 100% sure what they're using, but just something to keep an eye out for. Infinite, meanwhile, probably going to have plenty of time to roll on up to the town, plant the seed, head into the pipe. All right, there's the seed. Oh, doing the reverse town route, actually. Wow, that's something I did not expect. So this is a bit of a... how to say this? The Sand Kingdom has been rerouted dozens of times over the course of this run, and it's just always getting changes. This is one of the more recent changes. Infinite's actually too fast. He went too fast. It has to wait for the seed to grow because, oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Yeah, so doing reverse town, which is a bit of a newer reroute, doing the town moons in a slightly different order. So you see Infinite here in the same room as Quentiko, but very definitively ahead. Yeah, it was too fast for the seed moon. That's really funny.
Quentiko does fortunately make DSTA.
Yes.
So they will not have to wait. So they will not have to manually input DSTA into the switch.
And Infinite just has enough height to stall in the air for long enough for that moon. Very nicely done. Right? Yeah, and so that's Infinite leaving the Dune Moon and Quentiko arriving at the Dune Moon, so they have literally one moon separating them at the moment. It's very, very close, folks.
With some very clean movement on that Archway Moon.
Alright, Infinite setting up for Dram here. Gonna throw up Cappy, collect the moon, do a capture warp. Quentiko looking to set up the same thing. Very nice capture warp.
It does seem like Infinite is going for single bill.
It looks like he might be doing the platform clip route as well. I'm not...
Oh,
yeah. He's not getting the moon that spawned from the box. He's spawning that moon, going to do other stuff around in the level, and then we'll revisit that moon. Meanwhile, Quentiko grabbing that moon immediately and trying to get the single bill set up here. Looks good. Very nice. A little bit of different routes coming up from our runners here. Very clean reverse jack seed from Infinite.
Quentiko is going to go for reverse Jaxi as well.
Okay, the main difference here being that Quentiko's already grabbed the moon from the crate. Infinite is yet to grab that moon, as well as some others, hopefully getting the platform clip here. So first grabbing this moon, and then heading back over towards that moon broke out of the box.
Now, just like most things like City Hall and Flooded Pipes, Platform Clip's hardest part is all about making the cycle.
Oh, not quite
barely gets it.
So Infinite was on the right cycle, but not able to perform the clip quite to his satisfaction. Has to wait for the platform to come back. Again, not able to clip inside of the wall there. It's a very precise maneuver there, you know, try to fall off of the ledge while the platform is arriving, cap throw a couple times, and try to force your way into the wall, but Mario just not having any of it. Meanwhile, Quentiko only 2 moons away from being done. Okay, now Infinite's finally able to make it inside the wall. Navigating through out of bounds. The camera is forced here. You cannot change the camera from this specific angle as you approach this room, but once you leave, then you can change the camera. And that's Quentiko's last moon. They are out of here. Infinite still has to roll over to Lost in the Luggage and get that 1 moon before he can leave. So that'll be Quentiko pulling ahead. Infinite going for the platform clip, unfortunately failing it twice. Very clean sand aside from that one mishap, but that one mishap does lose quite a bit of time. So looks like about a 10 4x for Quentiko and that might even be an 11 for Infinite. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, no, that's an 11:01. About 15-20 seconds separating the runners here. 11:00. My bad.
Infinite, we all hope that your hands stay cold.
What? How could you say that? You monster! All right, heading into the Lake Kingdom. I do expect both of these runners to be going for the lake clip route here, so unfortunately I don't think we'll be seeing Rango today.
Whoa, you actually remembered it for today.
I remembered.
I will
But a
not
very...
I will not let that down.
Ooh. Quentiko getting a very clean spin pound on the first moon. Unfortunately, Infinite missing it, having to try again. That spot is actually way more precise than you might think. No, I'm wrong. Quentiko not going for lake clip. Just gonna do the standard route. Gonna fight Rango. I was wrong. Okay. Okay, but surely we see it from Infinite, right? Surely.
Surely.
Okay, alright, cool. The fake clip. Yep. So there is a very, very particular spot that you have to be in the crease, in the seam of the corner to clip out of bounds. There are some positions in Mario can be. It looks like you're in that corner, but actually you're slightly to the left. So we call it a fake clip. Infinite, unfortunately, did fall prey to the fake clip there. Had to reset it up again, but gets it second try. And Quentiko's going to sit on Rango's head here, pummel the poor bunny to death, and head on out for the kingdom. This is really unfortunate. I mean, Infinite's playing really well, and the whole, moment-to-moment gameplay is pretty high level, but just failing these big tricks, failing the platform clip, failing the lake clip, loses a lot of time. A lot of time loss. This is one of those things that... Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say that it does get him a lot of swag points, though.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. And this is kind of one of those struggles that the newer runners have when they want to learn the game. It's like, oh, look at all those cool things that top runners are doing. They're going so fast. They're being so cool. I want to learn to do all those cool things. I want to have swag. Well, most of the time in Mario Odyssey, swag doesn't actually save a ton of time. Like, we talked so much about DSS, this really, really hard trick at the start of the Cascade Kingdom. You know, looks insanely cool, very precise, saves 10 seconds. 10 seconds out of an hour-long run, it might not be worth it, right? Like, so you always have to find this balance of how comfortable you really are going for the swag versus how much time it actually saves. So.
I mean, obviously, if you're a DSS wizard, then go for it, but... It is one of those tricks that's probably one of the most precise tricks in the game.
Yeah, definitely. But that will be both of the runners heading on to the Wooded Kingdom. And both of them have plenty of coins. There is no need to fear. They have plenty to buy for the moon from the shop. Quentiko, unfortunately, not able to knock the two rocks together. The fastest way of breaking open the moon in this rock is to smash it against another rock, for whatever reason. Unfortunately, disposed of the first rock, so had to go and find another one. And Infinite missing the bunny, but that is not a huge time loss as he's able to get it with the quick wraparound. That was actually very slick. Moon is slightly out of the way now. I have to travel a little bit out of the way on the way to the shop, but really not the end of the world, all things considered.
I'm sure we'll see tree route from both of these runners.
Yeah, looks like it. Yeah, so looking to go get the nut in the tree, and then go break the nut on the wall, and use the nut on the wall to clip out of bounds, is the premise of this route. There is a backup if they're not able to get the nut clip here, but I'm expecting that they should be able to get it pretty consistently.
Actually, it doesn't seem like they got it.
No, that looked actually really close. I was not 100% sure whether that was in or out, but unfortunately, they are still in bounds and are not going to be able to get that one moon out of bounds. So while they're still able to go over here to this alternate route to get up the ramp, it will be down a moon, and Infinite is definitely inside the wall, going to be able to get that moon out of bounds here. So this moon that Infinite is getting right now, working towards getting, is completely unavailable to Quentiko. Impossible to get on this route. Oh, but Infinite... Oh, okay. Need to be very careful about this out-of-bounds maneuvering. Okay, and Infinite has gotten the moon now, so that is one moon on the route that Infinite has acquired that Quentiko needs to make up in some other way. Usually, most runners will make up this moon by getting the Piranha Plant story moon. It is quite a bit slower because it's a story moon. There's a long cutscene that plays, but you need a moon. You got to get something somewhere. But what with the time that Infinite spent out of bounds trying to maneuver his way up to that moon, I'm not entirely sure that it was hit that he's strictly going to be saving time here on Quentiko. Yeah, so here's Quentiko bopping the Piranha Plant on the head, spawning that moon as a replacement for the one that Infinite got. And there's this cutscene that's going to play. We actually might see Infinite pass Quentiko here in real time. This is going to be really close. I'm not sure who's ahead. Okay, so there's this nut around the corner here for Infinite. This cutscene needs to play for Quentiko. Oh my gosh, it's so close. And the Flower Road skip from both the runners. Oh my gosh. They are neck and neck here. Look at this. Wow.
And here we just see the immense speed of Nutclip roads, of tree roads.
Wow. Infinite's made up all the time loss already. That is truly something. That's fantastic to see.
Yes, and if
Climbing up the
Infinite
tower.
didn't have so much trouble with the out-of-bounds movement, he would be ahead right now.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my gosh, but they're just... I mean, look at this! They're neck and neck again! This is crazy. Okay, both of them jumping down. Oh my gosh, this is so
And
cool.
it seems like we have a sync, folks.
Oh my gosh, look at this. Okay, a little bit of cleaner movement there from Quentiko, able to break open the nut first. Still fairly even. Both avoiding damage. Oh my gosh. It's just... I mean, what to say? They're dead even. Both of them are performing admirably here. They both need to make this cycle though. Losing one cycle over the other runner would be a huge time loss. Would ruin the sync. That's simply not allowed. You can't do that. Please both make the cycle. Oh my gosh. And they're up.
And it does seem like Infinite's going to be slightly, ever so slightly ahead.
I mean, for all intents and purposes, though, this is a tied race going into the Cloud Kingdom here. Wow. So many moons getting dumped all at once.
I think this is the closest race we've seen in what it's so far.
Yeah, this is fantastic. Yeah, so going to be a 19-4x wooded exit for both of our runners. Certainly quite a bit slower than their PBs, but I mean, wow. This is quite a performance for a race so far from both of them. Okay, we have a little bit of a moment to breathe here, because the Cloud Kingdom is essentially just a giant boss fight, which is mostly auto-scrolly. You gotta skip some cutscenes, you gotta wait for Bowser to throw his hats at you while you wait for the next cycle, but this is more or less, you know, a fixed sort of affair. I don't think that we're gonna see anything special here. Moment to breathe before Lost Kingdom. Now, Lost Kingdom is where things get really spicy.
Yes. It's at least more interactive than Ruined Kingdom, which is just a complete auto-scroller.
Yeah.
Quentiko is going to take damage, losing the cycle.
Unfortunate. Yes. So look at me saying like, oh, there's they're gonna be on the cycle. Nothing's gonna go wrong. They'll be dead even still. No, I'm wrong again. So a little bit of time loss there coming up for Quentiko. Gonna be behind Infinite coming out of Cloud Kingdom.
Let's call that commentator's curse by Akra.
Yeah, it seems to keep happening. I'm not entirely sure why. But that'll be Infinite wrapping up with one more hit here. Boom. That is Cloud Kingdom done. Quentiko still needs to grab this hat and then punch Bowser some more. And yeah, not an insignificant lead from that. That's actually quite a bit of time loss. So it looks like we're going to be having a 21-16 from Infinite, 21-22. Wait, are these accurate? 5 seconds? Oh my gosh. It's still close. Let's see the tree jump. Okay. Looks good. Oh, right at the end.
Oh.
Right at the end, not quite the right amount of delay needed on that last dive there. So now Quentiko has the opportunity to pull ahead in the race, landing on the cliffside. Infinite is going to have another go at it. Nails it second try. And now the lead has shifted. It went from 5 seconds ahead to 5 seconds behind. I mean, this is so close the whole way through. A little bit of a bonk there from Infinite, not a huge deal.
Don't worry, it's all RNG manip.
Yes, definitely. All right, nice platform cycle for Quentiko. Gonna have this little arm extending towards, so able to dive and land on that. For Infinite, it might not be quite as clean. Oh, it's just gonna stop here. Okay. Getting kind of lucky with this platform cycle.
It doesn't seem like he is gonna get the Cappy return jump.
And thankfully, it's not necessary, but just a little bit of speed that you could add.
And Quentiko's going for reverse torpedo.
Not able to get it, unfortunately. Yes, reverse torpedo. So the normal way of doing this is you throw your hat at the torpedo, like what Infinite's doing. You line up, wait for it to break the block, and then you go down and grab this moon. It's actually possible to grab this moon down below while the torpedo is in the air, flying to break this box, but unfortunately, Quentiko not able to show that off successfully. It is a very, very tough trick. And an interesting decision from Infinite here, going for stone cage as well in the race. Quentiko nailing the cage triple. It's fantastic. Wow.
Unfortunately, it is the slower version of cage triple, so it's not going to save too much time.
Yeah. Not doing it the most optimal way, but still showing off, hey, like, look, you can just go over here. Wow, still close between our runners. 41 banners show up. And 48 banners show. 49. Yeah, like, again, still less than 10 seconds heading into Metro. This is super exciting. I'm getting pumped. Okay.
Like 55, it seems.
We've got Night Metro ahead of us and Day Metro. So Night Metro is a little bit more straightforward. It's a bit of a straight shot towards the boss fight, just grabbing up 2 moons on the way. Day Metro is kind of where the jungle gym opens up and more chaos can unfold. So again, a little bit of a calmer segment here before our runners jump into Day Metro and have to deal with the insanity. Very nice triple there though from Quentiko.
And it is going to have to go for the backup because he did unfortunately miss the triple jump.
Nice little Goomba bounce there from Quentiko. And Infinite, see, this is what happens. When you don't bounce on the Goomba, you immediately take a bonk and you're punished for not doing the obviously better thing of jumping on the Goomba. Shame on you, Infinite.
I know, right? Shame on you for not committing genocide against the Goombas.
Oh, and Infinite going for the Goomba hack. He's able to land on the platform. Wow, he's skipping the elevator cycle completely. This is fantastic. I don't think we've seen this in a race yet.
No,
that is
haven't.
wonderful. Wonderful from Infinite there.
Quentiko with a beautiful
Fantastic.
blind jump.
Man. I did say before the race, Infinite put on a show for us, and he said, yes, sir. And is just pulling out everything. That is crazy. Alright. Looking to get a 2-cycle here on the Mecha Wiggler. You can do it, you know, with varying amounts of speed even within the 2-cycle, but really, as far as the race is concerned, you're just looking to not 3-cycle. That's the big thing.
Yeah, here's where, in my opinion, is the biggest bit of time loss at this level. Getting a 3-cycle Mega Wheeler.
Yeah, because there's several layers of RNG here. Where the Wiggler spawns on the wall, which direction the fireballs are going, the path the Wiggler walks along the wall. It's like you see Quentiko's Wiggler just spiraling in on itself and in on itself until it finally uncoils. And getting the last
Beautiful
segment,
shot by
nice.
Quentiko.
And a different pattern here for Infinite. This pattern is also pretty good. Ooh, nice. Lining up the shots before it even stops. Look at that. Very clean from Infinite. All right. But that's not Metro. That is the calm part of Metro comparatively. Now we get to the fun part. So Day Metro is notorious among runners for being just where runs go to die. This is any number of things can happen. There is many different cycles for the different taxis in town, bullet building route, being in the wrong spot, not landing on the slots properly. There's so many very particular little things that you need to nail for everything to flow smoothly. And if there's no smooth flow, well, yeah, you might be left scrambling.
And
But it
will
all
we see any
begins.
drive-bys here?
Yes, first we're going to watch for the scooter clip. So nice little capture warp at the start. And then onto the scooter. Does the bonk setup. And then misses. That's really unfortunate. You never want to have to do the setup and then miss. But Infinite just drives by. No sweat, no problem. I got this. Wow. Again, Infinite pulling ahead.
The back and forth race, folks. It can be anybody's
really
race.
is. Yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh. Now, unfortunately, because Quentiko is behind, that means that the taxi cycle is random. Okay, the taxi's long gone. Never mind. If your timing is wrong, the taxi can arrive right in front of you on this bench and just be in your way. Infinite was fast enough to avoid that happening, and Quentiko was slow enough to avoid that happening. So no worries there. But I mean, because Quentiko is losing time, obviously they're not thrilled.
We do
Infinite
see
heading
billet
into slots.
building from Infinite.
I suspect we'll see a different route from Quentiko, not doing slots, not doing bullet building, going over to talk to Pauline and doing the story moons here. So first the drummer, and then should be heading over to the bassist, and then warping up to the top of the building. Meanwhile, Infinite got one moon from slots, which replaces this drummer moon, and is heading into the bullet building. So this is a sub-area which has 2 moons in it. Some very tricky platforming here, and then a very difficult up throw capture onto a bullet bill to fly your way through the rest of this little sub-area.
Yes, and the entire route
Infinite
only saves 2
nails it.
seconds.
Yes. Yeah, so you saw Quentiko ground pound the remains of the Mecha Wiggler for 1 moon, and then this bassist gives a 2nd moon. So this little portion here, the bassist and this Mecha Wiggler replaces what Infinite just did, the bullet building, but Infinite able to warp up to the building before Quentiko. Still in the lead. Yeah, now their routes are realigned. We diverged for a little bit, but now they're back on the same path. So next, climbing up to the top of the skyscraper here, the tallest, highest point in the kingdom. All right, and then going to be trying to launch himself over to the pool. Very nice spin pound at top of the skyscraper there. And let's see Quentiko do the same thing. Heading over, top of the skyscraper. A little bit off center, but yeah, okay. That's actually a very smart decision. Quentiko says, okay, I'm not centered on this little pole here. I don't see a point to trying to spin pound precisely on this thing. I'm just going to dive over. Very smart decision from Quentiko there. It's just the
I wonder
people's
if we'll
room.
see a reverse room from Quentiko. Nope.
Unfortunately not. But again, that is that small lead, you know, one moon separating the two runners. Infinite heading out now, was behind coming into Metro, but now in the lead again. They're just trading leads every single kingdom, I swear. 2 off gold, says Infinite. Wow, a monster performance in Day Metro from Infinite. That is incredible. Yeah, like I said, Day Metro, notoriously difficult kingdom for runners, where many runs go to die. You know, Mario meltdowns, collapses happening all the time. So staying within 2 seconds of gold is incredibly impressive in a race setting. Props to Infinite. All right. And now the Snow Kingdom.
There's really only one big, like, thing that's prevalent in Snow Kingdom, and that will be at the end of the kingdom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Snow Kingdom is pretty straightforward once you get to this level of play. You know, this is really only one route in consideration at this level, which is the Snow Dram route. And there's not a whole lot to be done before the Snow Dram trick itself. There's obviously little fiddly bits of optimization you can do, things you can improve upon, but generally speaking, not a lot of difference between the highest level of performance and, you know, kind of an average level of play here. This is a very even keel sort of kingdom, much like Seaside. So, climbing up here, the only thing you need to avoid is a downwards wall kick, which Infinite does. A little bit of weird geometry on this bridge. Depending on the specific spot you wall kick off of, you can get wall kicked downwards, which is very unfortunate to see. And that looks like Infinite is out of bounds with the moon clip here as well. Oh, actually not quite. That looked like it should have worked, but unfortunately the game says no, not today, Infinite. You thought you could go fast. Ha! Joke's on you. And that's kind of what Mario Odyssey does sometimes.
Yes. It is a very unforgiving game when it wants to be.
And I don't think Quentiko is in the wall. Oh, but okay, I'm just wrong. I thought that Infinite was in. He was not. I thought Quentiko was out. They were in. I'm just... Whatever I say is wrong. But that is
Opera has the commentator's curse.
I know. But that is a small source of time save for Quentiko there over Infinite. Very nice to see. Oh, very stylish spin throw from Quentiko, wrapping around, knocking the hat off of the Blow Joey, and immediately getting the capture, but unfortunately it was 2 spinies that lived and not 1, and this one is dead center, unable to knock it into the poison, having to do several cap throws there. That is very unfortunate.
We'll lose them quite a bit of time for that.
Oh, and there's some damage from Infinite. Now again, damage is really bad in this game because the game freezes for a second and shows you that Mario has been damaged. And then when you collect a moon, the game freezes again and says, oh, we got it. We're gonna heal Mario. So you have this double dipping of damage animation and healing animation. So it's a significant source of time loss, actually.
Yes, unlike SM64, it doesn't just heal while you're doing the start coming out of the painting cutscene. It creates its own separate cutscene.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and the screen timer did freeze.
It sure did, but I have the stats page pulled up, so I can tell you that Infinite at the start of Snow was 10 seconds ahead of Quentiko on the splits.
Quentiko
And
is
Quentiko
gonna
taking
take a
a
death.
huge death. Okay, it's not the end of the world. The moon still has spawned. You're still in this room. You can just jump over this gap. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah,
no.
so there's 2 places you can do this jump. You can do it right at the start of the room, which is what Quentiko just tried to do. Or you can head over to the first platform off to the right where those coin rings are and do it from there. That's a little bit safer because it's a little bit closer. But Quentiko says, no, I got this. I can do this. Let me at him, and gets it second try. As Infinite setting it for Snow Dram and gets that first try. Very clean from Infinite. Oh my gosh. Very nice snow from Infinite.
Yes.
A little bit of unfortunate that it didn't get the moon clip there, but all things considered, that's a very, very minor How did Quentiko even bonk there? I've never
I
seen
don't
that.
know. I was gonna ask you actually.
I've never seen anyone bonk there, actually. Usually, if you're going to bonk while you're rolling towards the shop, you're going to bonk on the pole behind the Chivarian, but I've never seen someone bonk on the door frame before. That is interesting.
Yeah, you had bonk on the Crazy Cat promotional thing.
All right. Big moment for Quentiko, trying to get Snowdram successfully. Big vault, nice vector, rainbow spin. Looks good. Very nice. Wow. Okay. So now Infinite grabbing the first moon here in Seaside as Quentiko is just heading there themselves.
Now, has it been me or the entire race, has Infinite's audio been unsynced with his video?
I'm not 100% sure how it's coming through on the actual live stream, but us here in the commentator booth, we're having a little bit of a desync between Infinite's video and audio. Not the end of the world, but it's been a little disorienting at times.
Yes.
Small bonk there on the way to this moon, but not a huge deal at all.
Then I guess it's just Discord being weird.
Yeah, it's just the first shenanigans.
Will we see fish and dips from Infinite? That is the question.
All right, let's see. Rounding the corner, setting up. Nope, just grabbing the moon from the chest immediately, heading out. Totally respectable decision. Now coming through this little tunnel here. And so far, Infinite avoiding any fish bonks. It's really good, because fish bonks are... it's actually funny. Fish bonks lose exactly as much time as bonking when you're just Mario, but it feels so much worse to bonk as a fish. I don't know why exactly, but it just feels like you're losing so much more time when you bonk as a fish.
Will we
Very
see
nice.
fish and dips from Quentiko?
That is a question. Infinite's going to be looking to set up for a fish clip here at the end of the kingdom. And Quentiko also just opts to just grab the moon and move on. Again, totally respectable decision. Grabbing the last moon here. Careful to stay out of bounds. You don't want to clip back in bounds. And heading over to the loading zone for the last moon here. All right, and then heading on to luncheon for Infinite. Quentiko just going to wrap up the last portion of the kingdom here before following suit. All right.
Well, Quentiko is gonna fail fish clip and is gonna have to set it up again.
Mm-hmm. Gets it. There we go. Now that's something that just strikes me as a little odd, actually. Quentiko clipped out of bounds and then did not fish boost, but a single time, and kind of just swam their way all the way to the moon. It looked odd to me for some reason. I don't know. Infinite opts not to do the salt triple jump, just going over to the ledge, playing it safe. No risk gameplay.
Will he go for Spiritless? That is the question.
If he didn't do salt triple, I feel like there's no way, right? Right?
You never know about the. You never know
Come
with
on.
these racers.
Come on. Come on. Yeah, heading straight towards the Spirit boss fight. Okay. I'm right about something today. Very good. Yeah, but much like the wooded Spirit boss fight, which we did skip in this race, we didn't get to see him before, you kind of just sit on his head, and he can't go anywhere, he can't do anything, he just kind of falls over and dies. And that's that boss fight.
Yeah, so these Brittles are actually very pathetic, if you think about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a children's video game, right? Oh, here's
Is
Quentiko. Not doing a neutral balance, but still getting the height with room to spare. Very clean.
Also, it does seem like Akra did steal my PFP, and I did steal Infinites.
Oh, goodness. Well, that's okay, I guess. We'll make do.
Pico just opting to go for Spirit as well. Not gonna go for the riskier 7-second time save.
Nice little movement there from Infinite. Getting the spin throw, nice and clean. Buffering the spin pound, very nice movement. Wow, that angle actually worked. I'm surprised. Yeah. But this is what we've been seeing all race, though, is Infinite, you know, when he's not trying to do some crazy trick, some of which he has nailed, to be fair. He has nailed some of the tricks that he's been going for. But his movement's very clean, you know, really can't complain too much. Just trucking on through at the kingdom.
Yes, for those of you that don't know, luncheon geometry is very unforgiving. If you're not on the right spot on one of the walls, you will take a fall.
Impeccable timing. Infinite actually roll boosted off of the wrong part of the salt pile on the island, which propelled him further forward, and he took a dip in the Pepto-Bismol.
I don't know, that might have
Because,
been intentional. He might have a heartburn right now.
Maybe. Yeah, you might notice, you know, on Quentiko's screen right now, all these fruits and veggies and weird things with weird geometry, different like polygonal flat faces and all these shapes. Yeah, that's actually like really their hitboxes. That's actually where you can stand on them. And so trying to navigate sometimes can be a little bit weird. Gotta be really careful. Alright, but here's Infinite, grabbing the next Podoboo, climbing up the Pepto Falls. And making his way all the way up to this one single moon up here. As Quentiko is now heading into the fast flicking forks room. Some nice cheese movement from Infinite. Using the pan bro to break open these blocks of cheese, doing it very carefully and deliberately, not just spraying and praying. I kind of like that.
I mean, personally, I always love to spray and pray, but you know, I might need to work on my cheese movement. Who knows?
And that'll be the penultimate story moon for Infinite. Quentiko's now making their way over to the cliff side. Opting for a side flip. You don't see that very much in any percent. Yeah, unlike... Ooh, really unfortunate bonk there. Not quite maximum height on every part of the ascent, which is absolutely required to get up there. Unlike Mario 64, side flips in this game are virtually useless because they are incredibly slow. They make Mario hang in the air for a long time, and they offer no height advantage over backflips or ground pound jumps.
Yes, they're only used in certain scenarios where you can't stop your momentum too quick in time.
Yeah. And most of the places where you might consider a side flip, you know, to quickly reverse momentum and jump, you're probably going to interrupt that side flip with a cap throw anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Those are the main places that side flips are used. Is, well, I'm going to interrupt this jump anyway. I don't care about the height.
Yes, the most common side flip you will see in any run is the one in Sand Kingdom on the ice pillar.
I've also seen some runners do a side flip right before the nut clip moon. But Quentiko looking to close out the kingdom with the last triple story moon inside of the pot as Infinite is heading on to the ruined kingdom.
Quentiko does make the jump perfectly, not falling into the Pepto-Bismol.
Very clean spin through there as well.
Yes, for
Very
those
nice
of you that
time.
don't know, that is one of the trickiest. That's one of the trickiest platforming sections in the game, or not in the game, in the kingdom.
Yeah. Like we said before, you know, the non-standard geometry of the luncheon terrain makes it so that you bonk on things that you don't feel like you should be bonking on, but the game says no, you fall into the Pepto now. So
And you also
luckily both
slide
of our
off.
runners.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh my gosh, I'll go. Both the runners are able to avoid that, luckily. So, love to see that. But, you know, it is a risk that every runner is always thinking about of, I can't bonk here. I need to be very careful.
And you do slide off in some places where you feel like you should be able to stay on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we call this boss fight an auto-scroller. Very technically, it's not. You can pull out those swords and get the ground pound with varying degrees of speed. You know, you can set up your cap to home in on it as you're walking towards another one. There are some ways you can speed it up, but it's a matter of seconds or fractions of a second. It's hardly any time at all. Most of the time saved in this kingdom is cutscene skipping, making your way into the boss fight arena, and then ever so slightly speeding up how quickly you are able to land the ground pound in between cycles. That's it. That's all the possible time save in this kingdom. You know, you see Infinite just doing side flips, wasting time, not doing anything really, just waiting for the boss to be vulnerable. Pulling out all the swords, getting that ground pound, and waiting for the triple banana to spawn. Yeah. If this were a GDQ marathon, for instance, this is the part of the run where you have all your donations.
Yes, donations, ads, whatever would be the best for time loss.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. Just one more cycle for Quentiko as Infinite heads over to dump the moons in the Odyssey and move on to Bowser's Kingdom.
Yes, in my opinion, the most platform-heavy kingdom in the game.
I guess it depends on what category you're doing, but yeah. It's definitely some of the most
level.
technical. Yeah, it's definitely some of the most technical movement in the any percent run, kind of all at once. There are some bits of technicality in other kingdoms like Metro and Wooded where you have to, you know, work with what you got for bits at a time. But Bowser's, it's very technical the whole way through. You have a little bit of breathing time as you wait for the story moon cutscenes, but it's very demanding of your ability the whole way through.
Yes, especially with the newer tricks being discovered, like new shards or not really Star Bomba, but still. And Birthless Mech. Birthless Mech is very is a very big nerve check.
Oh my gosh. Infinite wait for that roll cancel jump over the gap. I've actually never seen anybody do that. Most people just will long jump or, you know, jump some other way. I thought he was going to roll off for a second. I was very scared.
I think McPhee did that, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, certainly some movement options that are less frequently chosen by runners, but equally viable. Which is part of what makes speedrunning this game so phenomenal, in my opinion. Feels like you always have a tool in your tool belt to tackle whatever movement you are looking to do. Okay, Infinite just getting
go all over the place.
Getting kind of fancy there, trying to change his angle and momentum with some roll cancels, but going for new. New shards here. Not quite getting the dive back here. You gotta get far enough out that Cappy actually gets that moon shard and then dive back.
Is gonna go for new shards.
Oh, able to get up on that. Okay, so that jump up to the top of that roof is actually insanely hard. You have to have maximum height on every single part of that jump while you're collecting that moon shard. Very, very technically difficult. So very impressive to see from Infinite there. And then he immediately bonks, so it erases that time save.
We don't talk about this.
Love to see it in a Mario game. Oh well. Alright, now we get to see Quentiko's shards. Nice. Capture warp here is set up from Infinite, the Bowser Dram we call it. Gonna capture warp over to the pylon after collecting the moon. Very clean. And Quentiko able to get dive back on the very first go around, saving a little bit of time over Infinite. Going for the older shards route, but this is still very fast with dive back. And Infinite, unfortunately, is a topper first enjoyer, but we'll make do. Yeah, so for the uninitiated, there are two Brutals that you have to fight here as part of this gauntlet through Bowser's Kingdom. You have to fight both Topper, which Infinite just did, and Harriet, which he's about to do. And they're just on two platforms to the left and right of the moon platform. It does not matter which order you do them in. It's totally runner preference. But, you know, we like to talk some smack based on your preferences, obviously.
It does look like Infinite was gonna go for Sarbamba, but doesn't get it.
Yeah, I think that first bomb hit in a crazy direction, unfortunately, negates all potential for anything fancy here, so just gonna do the fight straight up, nice and, you know, nice and easy here. All right.
Which one will we see from Quentiko? Quentiko does go for Harriet first.
Let's go! We got a Harriet first enjoyer. Let's do it. Yeah, so a little bit of a slower Harriet fight there from Infinite, but the topper fight was pretty clean. Alright, looking good for Quentiko. Now this is a position I'm not familiar with, so yeah, getting a couple extra hops here from Harriet, not the end of the world.
Probably the half a second of time loss.
Mm-hmm. Alright. And the last portion of the Bowser's Kingdom. Infinite going to be grabbing one more moon here behind these crates. And then making the final climb up to the Robo-Brood boss fight. Meanwhile, Quentiko having a little bit of trouble on the topper fight. But able to snipe that one hat. Very nice.
Yes, but no matter the outcome of this race, I think we all know that Quentiko won it.
Oh, certainly, yes. Yes, we need to... Hello, we need a moderator to invalidate Infinite's run. Thank you. He chose Topper first. This is simply unacceptable. Thank you, thank you.
Yes. Aren't you a moderator?
Not anymore. I used to be, but it's a lot of work. Alright, here's the Robo-Brew boss fight. Looking to climb up the leg here. Ooh, unfortunately taking the bonk. Has to go back center to realign the head of the robot. Make sure it's pointing forward while you climb. But gets up there to try.
It doesn't do a backflip, but does get a CRJ to get up there.
Mm-hmm. Nice little... there on the topper. And there's Quentiko, also grabbing the crate spoon, making the climb, not balking. Okay, good. Buffering his spin count here for Harriet. Nice, and setting up for a target acquired. And the target has been acquired. Infinite successfully nailing it, getting a very, very clean boss fight there. Small mishap at the start, climbing up, but that tends to happen from time to time. Once he was on the robot, stayed on top, made it easy work. All right, now we get to see the same fight for Quentiko. All right, successfully climbing the first go-around. Nice little bit of time save there. Nice buffered spin down on topper. Especially when you only have one more ground pound to do until it's over. But there it is.
Can you explain to me what the difference between a value dive and a chaos dive is?
Yes, I actually can. So a chaos dive. So a dive is comprised of two buttons. It's the trigger button to initiate a ground pound, and then you interrupt that ground pound by pushing the cap throw button. So it's a two-button combination to dive, actually. A chaos dive happens when you delay in between those two buttons. So you start a ground pound, you hang in the air for a second, and then you dive. That's what we call a chaos dive. It's just a delayed sort of dive after you begin the ground pound. A value dive happens when you are backflipping and trying to throw your cap and then dive. Because of the way that backflips work, it twists and turns Mario in weird directions, and so sometimes it can happen that the direction that you just threw your cap and the direction that you are trying to dive are different. So, you throw your cap left, you dive to the right. You don't dive on your cap. That's a value dive. All right. Infinite setting up for the Mooncave skip. Looks good. Nice second wall pick.
It did
And
look
up
like
there.
at first that he was going to go for one wall bounce.
And into the chapel. Okay. All right, we have another fight with Bowser. This one is more or less identical to the boss fight in the Cloud stage. Unless you mess up like that, you need to be very careful as you approach Bowser at the start of this fight, because you need to have the cap land on you as you arrive to start punching Bowser. Unfortunately, Infinite got the hat on him before he arrived at Bowser, so Bowser had time to jump away, thus delaying the first cycle. That is some time loss that Quentiko can capitalize on, potentially.
Now, for those of you that don't know, the fire actually doesn't have any hurt boxes. It's all just a foreskin.
Even though it looks like he's spitting flames out all over the place, you are totally safe as long as you are a millimeter off of the ground. You can even use a roll boost, because a roll boost propels you off of the ground a little bit. You can use a roll boost to dodge this foreskin, actually. I've seen it done before. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, you don't need any height at all.
And I know someone who likes to meme and just bonk to avoid the fire.
Alright, there's Infinite with the last fast hat. Gonna be looking at 1, 2, 3, and then one more tail swipe. And now Infinite is in the escape sequence.
Yes, the biggest question here is, will we see any 2D SSs?
I think it's highly unlikely. I think just about the only person in the world who'd be comfortable doing that in a race is probably Tyron.
Or maybe any of the Pro League racers.
Then, I don't know how comfortable they are doing it in a race setting. It's certainly a question. I'm not sure. Maybe dangerous, but it's still a question in my mind. I'm not sure if they'd actually be keen on doing that in a race. Oh. Okay. He did try to get the setup there, but not able to get the right spacing of the jumps, so just says, you know what, alright, I was probably going to do this anyway.
Okay, Infinite is struggling with 2D skip. but eventually does get it without any deaths.
Oh, Dangerous did do it in the Darker Side race. Okay, I didn't know that. That is... Wow. But yeah, Infinite closing in on the Pillars Room. This looks like it still could potentially be a high 102, but most likely we're going to see a low 103 from Infinite coming out. Let's see how the Pillars Room goes. Cap jams in chat.
No Pepe Ds or else permanent ban. And it is having a little trouble with his fireballs.
Yeah, the angle is really tricky. Ooh, not taking damage though. Until he does. Oh my gosh, that
Fireballs are
angle!
just
That
slightly
angle!
fortunate.
Look at that! That is disgusting. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, still
Please.
skipping the block.
Oh my god. Oh, okay, there we go. We're good. We're good. Alright, that is the Infinite wrapping up the race with a final time of 103. That's a 30 flat. 28. 28 according to the splits. Yep. GG's to Infinite. Kept us guessing at the end there.
Yeah.
Alright, and it's not over. More cap jams. Keep it going.
Let's see if Quentiko can have a better pillars. At least on the last pillar, anyways.
Nice. Looks clean. Alright. GG's to both of our runners. Quentiko finishing off with a 104.42. Honestly, I'm very surprised that there was still a minute separating our runners at the end there. 'Cause it was so back and forth the whole way through. It was so close. It could have been anyone's game, honestly, the whole way through.
Yes, indeed, it could have. Especially
Alright.
in Wooded, where they were basically in sync.
Oh yeah, they were neck and neck the whole way through essentially, up until around Snow Kingdom, Snow Luncheon-ish. You know, Infinite started to pull ahead, never really let go of the lead, but before then, I mean, very, very close race. Anybody's game. Very exciting to watch. Hope we get more races like that in the future. So let's see here. We do have another Odyssey race coming up very shortly. Don't know if we have time for interviews or not. If we do, it's just going to be Infinite. Quentiko is opting not for the interview. I don't know if Infinite's going to join us, but we'll see here.
Hello.
Hey, Infinite. Glad you can join us. How's it going?
That run was very interesting to say the least. At the beginning of the run, my hands were frozen. That's why my hands were literally frozen, but after like Night Metro, they started warming up and I could like play the game.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I mean the
Feel
race
about
was.
that last pillar.
I am flabbergasted about that last one. Like, I swear, I tried so many times to just get something that could hit it, but it just kept, like, giving it a haircut. Like, I couldn't just hit it, but I got it eventually somehow.
It was actually insane. The fireballs looked like they were overlapping the model of the pillar, but apparently that's not where the hitbox is. So, I
Yeah.
mean...
This game has great spots.
Yeah. But I mean, that was a super exciting race. It was very back and forth all the way up until around MSSL, really. Pulled away towards there, relatively clean, aside from some of the tricks that were missed. Any thoughts in general about some of the tricks you were going for, like platform clip, lake clip? Like, any thoughts on that sort of stuff?
I'm very disappointed about platform clip because that's literally what I've been practicing for a bit now, and it usually goes really well. But I guess today decided not to. It's whatever. Everything else went fairly okay. Like, I'm pretty proud of this run considering where I'm at with this like whole D-Rust thing. So
Gotcha,
that's
gotcha.
probably the best run I've had since coming back. So I'm proud of that run.
Well, super excited to see more from you. GG's again. You're moving on to the next bracket.
Let's
Uh,
go.
don't think, yeah, the other race has not been done yet. We don't know exactly who you're going up against next, but you will be moving on. Excited to see more from you. Thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. And for those tuning in at home, don't go anywhere. We're going to take a small break, but we do have more Odyssey content to come. Another race immediately after this small break. Don't go anywhere.